All right, now we are going to go to our prepared speeches. And our first speaker today, who is going to be answering the question, oh, that's right, why? Okay. So these questions that people are going to be speaking on, they are designed, you're probably not going to be talking to someone for 46 minutes when they ask this question, but here's what it does. When you prepare your speech ahead of time, it forces you to organize the things that are important to that question and throw away the stuff that aren't. Allows you to structure it so that when you're talking to someone, and for example, Jim's is going to be your business versus your competitors, I mean, you could probably talk about that for 15, 20 minutes. Right? But if you're writing something 46, it allows you to start whittling down what are the most important differences. And it gets your mind thinking that way. So this is designed to get you to start to think about how to structure the answer that's going to be in 30 minutes to a minute. Or it might be an answer that's related over 30 minutes of talking, but this point and then this point that's relevant, but allows you to start thinking about it. Again, these are test questions before the test that you should already know how to answer. And so Jim's question is, your business versus your competitors. And our timer is going to be Isabel, and Jim is going to walk up here now.
I've been in the people business for the last 32 years, and during this time frame, I've realized that all entrepreneurs have similar concerns and issues and things that they got to overcome. And so when I built Successful Thinkers, it was really designed for multiple purposes. The first one, of course, was to help business owners from a personal development side, as we bring in expert speakers to teach them things that can help them elevate themselves. From a business side, where they can help them understand things that can elevate their business to another level. For another reason was because I wanted to be able to use technology to bring people together in the local communities, where they can actually go belly to belly and develop the relationships that can take their business to the next level. And then finally, because of bringing people together, I wanted to have an impact on the local economy, because I knew that if we can help drive business locally, well then it's going to deter people from just going online and doing business with insurance agents and other people that provide products and services, that the money would go somewhere else versus in their backyard, paying for their mortgages and their car payments and things of that nature. Now, you know, there's companies out there that kind of look like Successful Thinkers, but they're not really. And I'm going to use one in particular, and it's called BNI. And it's a great organization, been around a long time, and it's really helped business owners around the world really do significant business. So it's not a put down, it's really, this explanation is really designed to help you understand the differences. Where BNI, they bring people together and they have to pay, right? And in their process, they also require that they refer other business to the other partners that are there at BNI. And then, of course, they also pay to play. Where Successful Thinkers, it's free, and it's developed on a pay-it-forward and servant leadership. When it comes to Successful Thinkers, there are many variables that really distract, take away from what BNI is doing. In other words, our whole thing is we don't have any one person. Like we can have multiple mortgage brokers, multiple real estate agents, multiple people in every category of business, unlike BNI, right? Well, the reason for that is because we want those people, it's really about the know, like, and trust, and respect. So it's really, may the best man or woman win. And also in the process, although the BNI, you know, they talk about do the one-to-one, and the words that we use, one-on-ones, really means the same thing. But here's the bottom line. There are differences even in a one-on-one. And let me explain. On a one-on-one, there's 6 points that I want to bring out in that transaction, or that relationship. The first one is we're all looking for the same thing. I don't care if it's BNI or Successful Thinkers. We're looking for the ability to create a client or a referral, but also perhaps in some cases even a partner, a business partner. But then it goes a little bit deeper. Number 4, because Successful Thinkers is a family that grows together, stays together, supports each other, and buys from each other, our goal is actually to create cheerleaders for you, encourage you. And then develop enough of a relationship with somebody to have them hold you accountable. And then number 6, my favorite, and that's friends. Because out of these one-on-ones, you actually ultimately, at the end of the day, you're going to develop relationships that could go beyond that. And what's traditional, and I'm going back to the BNI thing because what's traditional is, let's talk about business. And so the first thing that we get into is business. And unfortunately, sometimes doesn't allow for the opportunity to get to know you. That make sense? And so finally, you know, and there's another side of Successful Thinkers that has been really encouraging to me, and that is I put in 9 steps to success. And I did that on purpose. Because I know that BNI and many other organizations, as powerful as they are, they don't teach on a consistent basis success principles at every meeting. And I've learned for the last 32 years of my life that every week, every month, and every year, that they'll slip, they'll backslide. And so by being reminded on a consistent basis, it encourages us to do a lot more and become better faster. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And then finally, in closing, in doing Successful Thinkers, the first thing encourage people to become better in the personal development side, as well as the business side. But I learned over time that it's affecting people's lives on an emotional side. It's changing their life. And over the last several years now, because we've been going for 4.5 years, I've had 4 occasions where people would come up to me and share with me, on the side, something very emotional. And they said that someone that they had invited to come to a Successful Thinker event, after the meeting was over, they were all encouraged and excited, and they shared the truth. And the truth was for them that was the day they were going to commit suicide. And we don't know what's going on in the hearts and the minds of other people. But we can make a difference simply by inviting somebody to something, because Successful Thinkers is about positive energy, edifying each other, building each other, and lifting each other. And when you learn about what's happening to somebody and how it's changed their life, you might not know today, but you might find out tomorrow. You've changed somebody's life. You've affected their life. Whether they come and they go, you've had an impact. Thank you very much.
So right now we're going to have 2 evaluations.
Evaluation of Jim was about your business versus your competitor. And the question was, did the presentation...
Don't talk to me, talk to him.
Okay.
He's the person you're...
Did the presentation seem well organized? And basically, it took me a while to really understand where you were going with where you're going with your presentation, because I was a little confused originally I was expecting, you to explain business versus competitor, but you really just talked specifically about what you're doing with Successful Thinkers. And so, to me, it just seemed like your presentation kind of rambled on, and it didn't really flow. Then the next question was, effective presentations have an emotional appeal. Did the speaker accomplish this goal? And although I know Jim a little bit, I think you just naturally come across extremely genuine. And because of that, I think your genuineness and your emotional appeal is always very persuasive. So from the day I even met you or heard you, you just came across that way. And so you did that again today. And I thought you did excellent in that way. How well did the presentation relate to the question? Well, again, I was a little confused about exactly where you were going with the topic. And so I had questions here that said, who is BNI? Because I'm not even familiar with BNI. So it's like, I didn't really understand, because you made such a general statement about something, and it's like, it was confusing to me. So I got lost really quickly. Because then the other question was, okay, well, aren't there other competitors other than BNI or whatever? And so, again, it was hard for me to really understand, coming from the topic to what you were trying to do. Was the speaker's presentation sincere? Again, your demeanor, it absolutely comes across with sincerity. I think that exudes from you. So that was fantastic. Was the speech persuasive? Why or why not? Again, I said I was unsure of the topic, but the presenter was quite persuasive, because I think you just, again, that's just your demeanor. I think you come across very assured in what you're saying, even though your presentation wasn't really, to me, didn't seem very well organized. Just you as a person, I think you're just a really confident person. So you just come across that way regardless of what you say.
So, David has had the luxury of meeting Jim, and I actually hadn't ever met you. So I'm kind of starting off fresh. So did the presentation seem well organized? Well, naturally you were giving a topic, and I think that based on the format of the meeting, you did the best that you could. So there was a struggle conceptually to kind of gather where I think the thoughts were going. But once you reached that peak, you kind of came right down and just grounded us all, and you were able to go ahead and make the connection of what you were asked, and that was essentially the question was your business versus your competitors. In doing that, I thought that your presentation, it certainly in me invoked an emotion, which is very important. You know, you want to, your demeanor changed once you were able to go ahead and gather the topic. You kind of zenned out and you were able to invoke this emotion that showed that you absolutely are genuinely concerned. It's something that you wake with and that you go to bed with. And that, to me, really wanted to, you engaged me that way. I was like, wow, he's in it to win it. And that's certainly a really good feeling. The presentation related to the question, in all fairness, I think the question for what you do is a little tricky, because it's not like your widget's better than Joe's widget. You know what I'm saying? We talked about non-tangible products before, you and I, when we were speaking at the end of the table. And I think you did a exceptional job in taking the concept of another networking group and differentiating it from successful thinkers. It was a clear definition, and that to me, of course, I knew what BNI was, and you're right, David, maybe not everybody knows, but yeah, you know, I've been around the block, so yeah, I know what it was. So I was easily able to go ahead and transition and take that ride with you. Was it sincere? Absolutely. I believe that, I don't think you're full of baloney at all. So I totally bought it all. I would have said something else, but anyway. And was your speech persuasive? Absolutely. You brought up some bullet points as far as pros on successful thinkers, perhaps versus other networking groups in general. So it would absolutely, if I knew nothing about successful thinkers, it would definitely lure me and intrigue me and bring me in. So you definitely did that exceptionally well. So